So I'm going to be doing a computer review on this computer that just hit the scene. I have done this one before in a different variant where it came with 16 gigabytes of RAM and the 4060 regular, non-TI. TI is a much more gaming-friendly one, much better FPS, very similar to the 3070 Ti from the previous generation. So you're getting a pretty big upgrade from it. My girlfriend is sitting next to me and doesn't know much about computers, so I'm making these videos for people that also may not know much about computers. So we're going to try out having her, if I say something that she doesn't understand, I'll elaborate on it. So right now the CPU is the i5-13400F. F means it doesn't have an iGPU, which an iGPU means that it's like a secondary visual, like a graphics card, but it's nowhere near as strong. So you do not have that with the F. So if your graphics card goes, you don't have a picture. So that's one thing to keep in mind. That makes sense?
So far.
Perfect.
I think.
Next, we're going to be looking at the 32 gigabytes of RAM. That is random access memory. I thought that it was going to be a DDR4 based off having 32 gigs.
What is DDR4?
DDR4 is the previous version. So
Okay.
mine is DDR4, but the newer generations use DDR5, which is the newest one. It's just a faster speed, slower latency though. Or sorry, higher latency.
Okay.
Faster speeds, but overall it's better. So it comes with 32 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM, and it does run much smoother than DDR4. It's probably going to be not the best hertz, so speed. So if you think of it like, pretend I'm driving a car and my car can go 100 miles per hour, but I have to make 16 stops, versus a car that goes 200 miles per hour, but it has to make 32 stops. The one going 200 miles per hour, even with more stops, is probably going to get to his destination before the car that goes 100 that has to make 16. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. And then next we're going to get to the main component of gaming PCs, which is the graphics card, which is basically the eyes of the computer, so the visual effects. The RTX 4060 Ti, this one it only comes with 8 gigabytes of VRAM. It is not the upgraded version. 8 gigabytes should be enough. For the meantime, they're saying that 8 gigabytes might not be future-proofing enough, but honestly, like, they said the same thing about CPUs. They said 4 cores, 4 threads isn't going to be enough, but yet they're still selling it in 2023, and they started saying that back in 2018, so only time will tell, but I think 8 gigabytes is going to be sufficient enough. 8 gigabytes of VRAM is strong enough for 1920 by 1080 with its graphics card, and 2K. So
18 by 80 what?
1920 by 1080 is standard high definition.
Okay.
And then 1440p is 2K. So there's 2000 pixels.
Okay.
And then there's 4K, which this computer might be able to run some games on 4K, but I wouldn't buy this for a 4K gaming PC. 8 gigabytes of VRAM at 4Ks might be a little bit laggy. So next, let's look at the actual appearance of this computer. It looks like it has a good case. Lots of airflow. You can tell by the mesh at the front, like the one that you built. It has multiple fans. So it has 3 intake, 1 exhaust fan at the back, and then the CPU cooler. Which doesn't look like it's the best thing, but honestly, it's better than the old stock Intel coolers. And then you have a USB 3.0, 3.0, and a USB-C at the front. By looking at this motherboard, I'm going to guess that is an ASRock or an Asus. By looking at those lines, it's definitely not an MSI or a Gigabyte. So it's going to be a pretty like mid-level motherboard, and the power supply it doesn't really say. I don't think there's not enough reviews, but it is going to come with keyboard and mouse. Yeah, it doesn't say. It comes with the Windows 11 operating system. Has a super speed USB connector. That's kind of cool. And does not include a built-in CD. So honestly, above all, like it seems pretty solid. It is 1,100 American. I would like to see this for exactly 1,000. I would think that's well worth it, because you're going to build it yourself. It's probably going to be around the similar price range, because now getting Windows keys is really, really hard, so you have to almost pay for that entirely. So this way it takes that out of it. And really, I don't see anything that I really think is bad. Alright, Catherine, any questions? Good? That all made sense?
For the most part, yes.
Perfect. So this computer will be able to play any game you throw at it. You want to play Fortnite, Roblox, Forza, Call of Duty, all those. This thing will beat a new generation console for sure. So whatever a console can play, this can play more.